Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your MLB Baseball preview and predictions for a Thursday, August 5th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your day. As always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are watching on a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by bullpenpicks.com. Anybody can play, anybody can join. You want to follow the top pickers today at bullpenpicks.com. In fact, let's go to the most followed today, and you can see yours truly, Ron Raymond, has 90 followers, 11-4 yesterday. Eddie O, my good buddy from Montreal, went 13-2. Mags went 9-6. We got Justin here at 8-7. Underdog Sniper 6-8. XO Volo 8-5, and there's Muss at 13-2, and those are your top most followed players right here at bullpenpicks.com. And folks, you can follow their picks each and every day right here at bullpenpicks.com. All right, so what I'm going to do here today, guys, I'm not going to switch anything up, but I'm going to bring more of an eye of an investor than an action junkie today. And what I'm going to focus on is when you're looking at today's card in baseball, I'm going to point out the difference between the value, high risk, low risk, and fair market risk on the game schedule that is on top here today. And I'm going to look at the percentage play. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the fundamentals of the Raymond Report. I talk about this all the time. Value, the percentage play, and the cycles. And what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to point them out in each game to let you know if this team has value today, if they're high risk, low risk, and I'll give you a little bit of an insight on how the Raymond Report really works as a sports betting investor. And always remember that there's three types of teams in the Raymond Report. Teams that are A-type teams. Those are teams that are 60% or higher in the standings. They come with high public confidence but low rewards at times. B-type teams, 50 to 59.9. C-type teams, teams that are below 500. And normally low public confidence in those teams, but they have the teams with the high ceiling of high rewards, right? And then we're going to look at the performance cycles. Teams that are bullish, they're either 7-0, 6-1, or 5-2 in their last 7 games. Teams that are neutral, 3-4 or 4-3 in their last 7. And teams that are bearish, 0-7, 1-6, or 2-5 in their last 7 games. All right, so what I thought I'd do, I always like to do this once in a while, is as you know, I look at baseball or all sports through cycles, right? How teams are doing through, like, say, a 45-day cycle, a 7-day cycle, a 3-month cycle. And what I did since the All-Star break, I want to see which team has really picked it up and which team we got those under-the-radar teams that are really trying to make the playoffs. Teams like Atlanta, right? They're starting to surge right now. So which are the teams? There's 11 teams since the All-Star break that have a double-digit win, and that includes the New York Yankees, 12-6, Boston, 9-9, Toronto, 11-7. They're making a run right now. Look at Baltimore, 10-8 since the All-Star break. Tampa Bay, 12-7, one of the best records so far. Minnesota, they're falling 6-13. You got Chicago White Sox, 9-10. They're Don't fall in love with those White Sox. They're a game below 500, right? But they got a nice, comfortable league in the Central Division. Kansas City 10-7, Cleveland 7-11, and Detroit 12-7. The Tigers really having a really good run since the All-Star break. Oakland 9-8. So you can see these teams. They're really a middle of the standings type team, but are they a team you can really trust down the stretch, right? Seattle 10-8. Seattle's been a good return on investment team. Angels 9-10. Texas 4-14. Those are teams that are falling off the tracks really fast. Houston 10-7. Atlanta, that's what I was talking about, right? Watch Atlanta. You probably get some good value betting them the rest of the way. Miami 7-12. You got Philly 11-9. You have Washington 7-13. They're fire sale at the All-Star break with the who else? The Cubbies 9-11 for the Mets. Chicago 8-11. St. Louis 9-8. Pittsburgh 7-11. Cincinnati 9-9. Milwaukee 12-5, right up there with Tampa Bay. San Francisco 11-8. Dodgers 9-9. It's a little surprising. Only 9-9. Arizona 8-9. Colorado 7-10, San Diego 11-8. So those are the records of the team since the All-Star break, and you can see some of these teams you want to keep an eye out, like Detroit, right? A team below 500, but they're playing some really good baseball, their best baseball of the season. All right, let's go to the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, and you know what we do in this segment? We track what has come in the last couple days, and look at yesterday, 11-4 for the favorites. So the favorites had a very nice day yesterday, and looking at the 7-day cycle, cycle neutral. We are neutral on the 7-day range here. 56.3% of the favorites have come in the last 7 days, and that's why you're seeing some of the favorites come in at a high rate, right? So what I do in this in this feature is I look at teams in the last 7 days to see if we're in a bullish cycle. Then what goes up must come down, and favorites can't win forever, right? But because we're in a neutral market, now you're seeing the favorites win because they're really, prior to that, they're at 500. So the good teams are going to find their streaks, and sure enough, look at it yesterday, right? 11-4, and that's why I'm going to really focus today on the difference between an action junkie and a sports betting investor, and how to pick your spots on those favorites and underdogs, and when is a good time to pull a trigger on that, right? Looking at the over-unders yesterday, 9-6 to the over, and if you look at the 7-day average, 52.6% of the favorites have come in, the over, and 47.4 of the under. So we are in a neutral market for over-unders, and who knows, we might get a day, well, like this day right here, 11-4. When was the last time we had a double-digit day on the over or the under, right? Right here, we had a 12-2 day, and those days don't come often, right? And it just you just got to keep an eye on it, and then have you always say, have your thumb on the pulse of the industry, know what's come in, because you don't want to look back and say, man, how come I didn't know that, right? All right, let's go to the card here today. And we got, let me see, I think there's 12 games today. We got a couple of games off. And we're going to kick it off with the New York Mets taking on the Miami Marlins. Now, the Marlins coming off a 5-3 loss last night to the New York Mets. And Rich, King of the Hill, going to go here for the Metropolitans. He's up against Braxton Garrett, the lefty here for the Marlins. And now looking at the bookmakers line, minus 155. Now, here's what I'm talking about today. I'm going to look for value, the percentage play, and the performance cycles to see is the New York Mets a really good play here today, or is Miami a good play, right? And try to keep this under 20 minutes, which is going to be a little hard, but sit back, have a coffee, and relax, and enjoy the show. All right, so minus 155. Now, if you look at the Raymond Report, I have this index down here called the Value Index. You want to take this number, minus 144, compare it to the bookmakers line to see if you have value, right? So when I look at this, and I'm looking at the New York Mets, minus 144, and they're at 155, so they're overvalued today. So we're going to overpay for the New York Mets if you like the Mets here. Now, looking at the Miami Marlins, plus 141, and they're at about just that, right? They're about 130. So you can see they're still undervalued here because they're not meeting that 141 number that I'd given them. So really no value here on the Miami Marlins. Now, looking at the percentage play of them winning the game straight up, I had them at 57% for the New York Mets, and I got the Miami Marlins at 45%. Now, the New York Mets, 56-51 on the season. They have a 52% win percentage. So when you look at their chances of winning at 57%, they are 5% above their records on the year, right? The old Bill Parcells quote, "You are what your record says you are." Now, seeing this team is at 52% on the season, and they have a 57% chance of winning here today. There's a good value there. There's a 5% value on my books that you do have a little bit of value right there. But you also got value on the Miami Marlins. When you look at the Marlins, 42% on the season, but they have a 45% chance. They're only 3% above their season standings. So you got good value on both these teams here today when it comes to the percentage play. And looking at the performance cycles now, down here you see where I say the VIC. And I'm just doing this for this game here, guys, and I'll breeze along in the next one so that way I don't keep you hostage on every game here. But be bearish. We talked about that, right? A team that's above 50%. Bearish means they're 2-5 in their last 7 games. So this is a good play here. It's a low risk play if you are thinking of taking the New York Mets. And the reason why I say it's a low risk is because they're 2-5 in their last 7 games. So what does that mean? That means that they're due to start winning again, right? Because in order to get to bullish cycle, they got to get to neutral. So they're stuck in a bear cycle, and so is the Miami Marlins. They're 2-5 in their last 7 games. So to me, low risk here, betting on both these teams because of their bear situation in the performance cycles. So recap, is there any value? So we're looking at the value. They're overvalued, and there's no value on the Marlins. The percentage play, does favor the New York Mets, considering that they do have a 52% win percentage on the season, and they have a 57% chance of winning here today. Now, if this was lower, to me, then there'd be no value in the percentage play, right? Because, it means they're winning and they can't win forever. So I'm just looking through the eyes of an investor, like a banker, right? Do I see good value betting the New York Mets here today? And I think you do. I think there's value on the Mets. They're a bit overvalued though, so it's not a perfect play. It's not a perfect opportunity because they're a bit overvalued. You're going to overpay about $10 more, but you do have a 52% team that has a 57% chance of winning. You also got the computer on their side, 4.87 to 3.02, and the over-under at 7.89. So we'll see what happens in other cycles. The last 3 games have gone over the total, and the Kogo was at 27%. All right, so now I'm just going to breeze through the others so you really know when I go through every game, you're going to understand the value, the percentage play, and all that other stuff, right? All right, so the Boston Red Sox taking on the Detroit Tigers. Martin Perez going up against Tarek Skubal of the Detroit Tigers. Now, the Bull Sox snapping that, 7-game losing streak yesterday. In fact, it was a 6-game losing streak, so they finally got into the W column. The last 3 games for Boston have gone under the total. They're minus 128 today. My line was 170, so you can see there's good value here. You also got the percentage play at 54%, and they are hitting at 58% on the season, so you do have a somewhat of a good value here on the percentage play. And they're bare, so you do have a low-risk play here on the Boston Red Sox if you do like Boston. And the computer pick, going to lean with the Bull Sox, 5.54, 4.05, the over-under at 9.59. 43% chance of winning here for the Tigers. And you can see here they are neutral, so they're fair market value today on the Detroit Tigers. LA Angels taking on the Texas Rangers. Now the Halos, minus 106, the over-under set at 9. Dylan Bundy going to go up against Spencer Howard today of the Texas Rangers. Now, the Angels winning yesterday 2-1, and they're on a 2-game win streak. So, look at our value index, minus 117. So, good value today on the Halos. 137 is the value on the Rangers. So, you can see they haven't met the value standard right there. Now, the chances of winning, 42% compared to 65%. You got a team that is 50% on the year with the Halos, and a 36% chance of winning here today. So you do have value on the Texas Rangers. They're neutral, so fair risk today if you are betting the Halos. But the computer pick going to lean with LA here. 4.69, 3.79. The over-under is set at 8.48. Chicago Cubs taking on the Colorado Rockies. Now, the Cubbies winning yesterday at Coors Field. The final was 3-2. Looking at today's line, minus 175 is the line here on Colorado. We got them at plus 122, so overvalued today for Colorado. Antonio Sensatella going to go here for the Rockies. He's up against Jake Arrieta of the Chicago Cubs, and when he goes for the Cubbies, they are 6-12 on the year. And looking at the computer pick, 4.29 to 3.5, the over-under at 7.79. You got a C bearish type team, so you got a team below 500 that is bearish, so you got low risk if you are betting on the Cubs. And C neutral, so you got fair risk here on the Colorado Rockies. So looking at so overvalued, 175, bit expensive, and we do have the Cubbies winning here, 4.29 to 3.5, the over/under at 7.79. San Francisco taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now I was going to say the G-men there thinking football mode, but the Giants winning 7-1 last night over Zach Gallen and the D-backs. And looking at today's starters, Alex Wood going up against Merrill Kelly of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now let's take a look at the value. 163 is the price, over-under set at 9. My line on the game, 194. So we do have value on the Giants, and 178. So undervalued here for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The chances of winning, 35% for the Giants. And keep in mind now, the Giants on the season, they 63% win percentage, so you can see the chances of winning very low here at 35%. And looking at their A bullish, so it's a high risk play if you do like the Giants. And it's the only reason why I say a high risk. I'm not talking about them, winning the game. I'm talking from an investment point of view. It's a high risk investment point of view because you got a team like the Giants who are 5-2 in their last 7-game cycle, and they're A bullish. And they're facing the team that's one of the worst in the league. The Diamondbacks 35-75. They're C neutral now. They are Arizona 3-4 in their last 7 games. So fair risk here on the Diamondbacks. But you're getting good value, and this is where you really got to dissect all the numbers and look at it from an investment point of view. Like like I would say, look at it through the eyes of a banker, right? Would this be a good investment here today? I got a team that's bullish, that's 5-2 in their last 7. and the value is at 163. I had them at minus 194. So there is value. However, it's a high risk play because they are bullish situation, and their last 2 games have gone under the total. Maybe the total is where you want to lean, but the Kogo is at 58%. Philadelphia taking on the Washington Nationals. Now the Nationals losing their last 3 games, and 9-5 victory last night for the Phillies. And looking at today's line, minus 150 for Philadelphia. The over-under set at 8.5. ATS forecast computer pick. Gonna lean with the Nationals here. 4.51 to 4.41. The over-under here set at 8.92, which remind me, I didn't give you guys the forecast of the Arizona game. 4.02, 3.81. The over-under at 7.83. So again, talking about the Giants, right? High risk, and the computer pick on 28 games. So be careful if you do like the Giants. Now back to this one between the Phillies sending Aaron Nola to the hill against Joe Ross. Now let's take a look at the fundamentals of the Raymond Report. Minus 150 is the line. I had minus 113, so overvalued today for the Philadelphia Phillies, plus 108. So you're, let me see, you're getting good value here on the Washington Nationals. But again, when you saw my the record since the All-Star break, this is a team you can't really trust right now. Look at that, bearish team. So a C bearish team means it's a low risk if you are not. A low risk in the sense that they're losing, so it could be a high risk of them winning their bet, but it's a low risk come to the percentage play, because eventually they're gonna have to get back in that win column. That's what I'm trying to say. The last 5 games I've gone over the total, and looking at let me see here, the Philadelphia Phillies, 4 straight up wins. Aaron Nola is going to be tough to beat here today. 25% chance of winning, however, for the Philadelphia Phillies. That's because they're on a 4-game win streak. And when I look at their cycle, they're bullish right now. So high risk play here on the Phillies, but you're getting good value. An overvalued team here on the Phillies against a team that's really bad right now. But Joe Ross going to go. Maybe the under is a play you want to consider. 5-13 to the under when Joe Ross goes for the Nationals. All right, here's a great game here today between the Seattle Mariners and the New York Yankees. Now the Yankees minus 220 is the price tag. The over-under set at 9.5. ATS forecast computer pick gonna lean with the Bronx Bombers 6-4. The over-under set at 10.04. Let's take a look at the value here. Minus 174 was my number here on New York. Minus 220 is the line. So you can see they're overvalued here today against the Mariners, and you're getting great value on Seattle. Anytime you get a minus 108, any type of minus with plus money, they say two wrongs don't make it right, but this is pretty much our version of making it right? You got a minus situation here with a plus. So in my books, that's a really good value play on the Seattle Mariners. Their percentage play is at 40, so is the New York Yankees. And when you look at the percentage play for both these teams, 53% win percentage for Seattle, 54% for the New York Yankees. Nestor Cortez is going to go here for the Yankees. They're 4-0 in his starts. And Tyler Anderson for the Seattle Mariners. Now looking at the B neutral against a B bullish. So right here, if you're going to bet the New York Yankees, a bit of a high risk because they are B bullish. And the reason why they're bullish, because they're 5-2 in their last 7 games. And the Mariners coming off a 4-3 loss yesterday to the Tampa Bay Rays. So as a fan, I'm sure the public's going to be like 65%, close to 70% on the Yankees. But as an investor, I think there's good value here on the Seattle Mariners. Now think about this. Is there value on the play? Minus 108, you're getting plus 170 or something like that. Let me see. Seattle plus 200. You're getting plus 200. Great value. The percentage play, you got a team that has a 53% win percentage, but only a 40% chance of winning. But the Yankees only got a 40% chance. And then listen to the performance cycles, right? You got a team that is 3-4 in the last 7 against a team that's 5-2. So high risk right here if you are betting the Yankees, but fair market risk if you are betting Seattle. So Seattle, from an investment point of view, is a good play here today. All right, Cleveland taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the Blue Jays they had an 8-0 lead, had the under in that game, but Suedo, whatever, I forget the pitcher that came in there, didn't really, they made it too close for comfort in my books. 8-6 was the final for the Blue Jays. Ross Stripling going to go up against Tristan McKenzie today of the Cleveland Indians. He's 1-4 with a 6.1 ERA, where Toronto's Ross Stripling 4-6, 4.75 ERA. Now the Blue Jays on a 2-game win streak after losing the first game of this series against the Cleveland Indians. But that was after an emotional series on the weekend, right, against Kansas City. First time home in over a couple years, or 700 some days. And now looking at the line value, minus 132, 175. So Toronto overvalued here today against the Cleveland Indians. I had the Tribe here at plus 121. You're getting plus 165, so you're getting good value on the Cleveland Indians. The chances of winning, 59%, but you got a team that's 52 and 53 on the year, so close to 50%. So from a percentage point of view, you are getting good value here on the chances of winning, and 40% chance of winning for Toronto, so not great value on Toronto. They're overvalued. Their chance of winning is low. And then now they're B bullish, so they're high risk play. Cleveland, again, might be from an investing point of view, Cleveland could be worth a look here. But again, do your homework and look at the starting pitchers. I think Cleveland might be worth a shot. All right, Pittsburgh taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Minus 220 here is the price on the Reds. The over-under set at 9.5. ATS forecast, computer pick, gonna lean with the Cincinnati Reds. 4.93 to 4.25. The over-under is set at 9.18. Let's take a look at the starting pitchers here today for Cincinnati. You got Sonny Gray going up against Will Crow. Now, Sonny Gray 3-6 on the year, 4.26 ERA. When he starts for the Reds, they are 7-8 and 5.8-2 to the under. And when Will Crow goes for the Bucks, they are 7-8, 7-7-1 to the over/under. My line on the game, minus 123 for Cincinnati, plus 190 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So you are getting close to fair market value on the Bucks. The chances of winning, you got a team here with Pittsburgh that is 38% on the season compared to 53% for Cincinnati. So chance of winning at 40%. So it's a little bit low. That's because they're bullish. And the reason they're bullish is because they're 5-2. So high risk here. But again, low number on the percentage play compared to this. But I don't know if I can trust Pittsburgh. We saw their record right here when I did the, let me see, Pittsburgh since the All-Star break. Let's take a look down here. I think it's not that good. I think it's one of the worst ones. Pittsburgh, the Bucks. All right, 7-11. Yeah, so not a really good record right now since the All-Star break. And looking at today's starter, Will Crow, chances of the Kogo here, the chance of the game going over the total at 49%. And C neutral against B bullish. Again, I think this is better games on the board. Maybe the total is where you want to lean this one. 4.93 to 4.25. The over-under at 9.18. All right, Chicago White Sox, man, just like I said, right? It's a team that maybe they're in cruise control knowing that they got a big lead there in the American League Central Division. Dallas Keuchel didn't look good in his last start. Daniel Lynch going here for Kansas City. They're 1-4 in his starts. Dallas Keuchel on the year, he is 7-4, 4.51 ERA. Now looking at the line value, minus 195. I had minus 199, so pretty close to fair market value. And for Kansas City, plus 180. I had plus 174, so they didn't meet that number right there. C neutral against C neutral, so fair risk here if you are betting both these teams. And looking at the chance of winning, 62% compared to 37% on the Raymond Report. And we do have Kansas City here, 4.9 to 4.4, the over-under at 9.43. The only bad thing is, and using the law of average theory, you got a team like Kansas City coming off a 9-1 shellacking yesterday over Lucas Giolito and the White Sox. So you will be getting a very nasty, bad mood Chicago White Sox team tonight at Guaranteed Rate Field. Minnesota taking on the Houston Astros. Astros losing last night at LA, 7-5. And the Twins losing 6-5 to the Reds. And 245 is the price. Minus 196 was my ticket here. And plus 159. So you are getting value on the Twins. However, it's a team that is hitting at only 42% on the season. 60% for Houston on the year. Framber Valdez going up against Griffin Jax. And looking at, let's take a look at the value, right? So is there value here? No overvalue at plus 159. So you're getting value on Minnesota. The percentage play, 63% chance of winning compared to 53%. And that's below their season record. And for Minnesota, it's above their season record. In fact, they're 43%, I said, or 42. And let's take a look at the performance cycle. A B bearish against a C neutral. Now, because they're neutral, if this was bullish, then I'd say this would be a no play. But because it's neutral, and the reason why they're neutral is because they are 4-3 in the last game, and this is why I probably won't touch the Minnesota Twins. Had this been bullish, maybe give it a glance or a look, but it's still Minnesota, right? And you are what your record says you are, and you are 45-63 on the year. And looking at the Kogo is at 38%. And the last game on the board is the Atlanta Braves taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Tuki Toussaint going to go here for Atlanta, going up against Wade LeBlanc of the St. Louis Cardinals. And let's take a look at the numbers. Minus 107 was my number on the game, and you can for St. Louis, and minus 113 for Atlanta. So, you know what? Fair market value here on the price for both these teams. Now, looking at the percentage play, you got a team in Atlanta that's really done well since the All-Star break, right? So you got a team that's coming off a 7-4 win over the Cardinals. And let me see the percentage play, 42% or 59% for the St. Louis Cardinals. You got a B neutral against a B neutral. So I do like that fair market risk right there. And looking at the computer pick, 4.64, 4.2, the over-under at 8.84. So looking at fair market value, looking at the percentage play, and then looking at the performance cycles, I think I'm going to go with the computer in this one. I think Atlanta might be still worth a look here. And let's go with Atlanta here today as the Raymond Report moves on to the one of the favorite segments of the show, and it is the 80% Club, where the trends could be your friends here today for August 5th. And we're just going to wait for the stats to come up. I haven't looked at them yet, so we'll be looking at them together. And sure enough, 8-1 doesn't meet my 10-game requirement, but it's still a pretty solid stat right here for the White Sox. 8-1 as a 182 minus 200 home favorite, coming off a loss the last 6 years. Even though I do think the White Sox are, they're facing Kansas City. Kansas City winning 9-1 last night. It's just the All-Star break, right? They haven't really dominated, but again, I think they're a team on cruise control, but it's only August, so you can't be going in that mode. All right, the over, 13-2 for the Tribe as an away team coming off a loss against an American League division opponent, so maybe the over is where you want to lean in that one. Colorado, 10-2 as a 160, 180 home favorite during day games the last 3 years. Yeah, you know what? That's one thing I've noticed the last couple of years. Colorado sure loves to play in the day at Coors Field, 83.3%. And let's get a current season right here. And always the White Sox. Every time I get a current season, it always brings me to the White Sox, right? Tigers, 9-2 as a home team when the total's 9.5, 10.5 this season. So when it's a high total, Detroit seems to step up their game. They're 9-2, and they've been doing all right since the All-Star break, right? All right, there you have it. That was the little bit of an extended version here today, but you know what? It was on my mind all this last night, and I said, I want to go into more detail the Raymond Report and really look at today's game through the eyes of a banker and investor and not as a fan, right? And it's just when you get so many games on a day like today, not every game is a Picasso, you got to find those three things I talked about: the value, the percentage play, and the performance cycles, right? Really focus on these cycles because, a team that is bearish, that means they're losing. They're either 0-7 to 1-6 or 2-5 in their last 7 games. And depending on what type of team they are, if they are a team above 500 in the standings, they have a better percentage play of winning compared to a team that's below 500. And this is where I'm always talking about the percentage play, the value, performance cycles, because once you start connecting those dots together, then you're going to start being a sports investor instead of an action junkie, right? And if you watch my videos, I did 30 tips in 30 days in the month of July. Check out those videos and you'll see the same thing I keep repeating, right? Those performance cycles, those values, the percentage play. And again, how do you handicap the 9th inning? It's tough to do, right? You don't know that when the first pitch starts. The last 10 seconds of a basketball game, overtime. You don't know. What it boils down to: percentage play and value and the performance cycles. All right, a little bit extended today, guys. But again, sometimes I get on these not rants, but high energy kick of trying to really focus and educate people on the Raymond Report. This is my 24th season handicapping. It's not my first barbecue, and I really feel this is a really good system in the new Driven Parity League. And the more people that, if you just buy into it and not just quit after 2-3 days, but give it a month, give it 2 months, and you will see in the end your bankroll will have a difference. All right, speaking of bankroll, why not save 20% off your next membership package by purchasing a membership? Get the Raymond Report each and every day and learn about the system, get the computer picks. You get, now with the membership, you also get my 5-star best bet, 10-star game of the week, that's only once a week. You get my 4-star over-under, which was a winner yesterday. Actually, the 5-star was a winner with Tampa Bay. We had a 2-team parlay. I had Boston in the under in the Miami game, but the late pitcher didn't really help us there. The system play of the day and our upset special play of the day yesterday was Miami. Unfortunately, it didn't cash in. But you know what? Those upset specials, you can't win them every day. If I can win 2 or 3 of those upset specials of the day, you'll make a profit at the end of the week. All right, there you have it. That is the Raymond Report for a Thursday, August 5th. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I would appreciate your comments and thumbs up if you do enjoy it. And as always, shop for value, play those percentages. We'll see you back shortly with another Raymond Report. Cheers.